When the tribal chief makes his long anticipated return, the needle will once again move. How would Johnny and I book his return all the way to WrestleMania? Let's talk about it. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Thank God for Wrestling podcast. I'm co-host number one, CJ McClure.
Co-host two of two, Johnny King.
And today, guys, we are getting into how would we book Roman Reigns' return this year and booking his time back all the way to WrestleMania. We are just going to get straight into it today. I'm going first. It seems like I got the longer booking here with a lot of detail. So before I even get into Roman's return, let me just do a bit of a prelude real quick, and you'll understand why I'm doing this. Come July in Money in the Bank, put Solo in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Win a qualifying match, put him in. And at some point in the match, it looks like Solo is going to become Mr. Money in the Bank. Out comes Jimmy Uso from the crowd. Jimmy comes back. He makes his long anticipated return. He calls Solo the Money in the Bank contract. And now we got ourselves a bit of a mini feud between Jimmy and Solo after Solo took him out of action. So Jimmy and Solo have their match at SummerSlam. And it's fairly competitive for about 2/3 of it, but then Solo just dominates in the end and beats Jimmy 1, 2, 3. After Solo beats Jimmy, Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa come out. They're just assaulting Solo just like they did last time when they kicked Jimmy out of the bloodline. And Roman Reigns' theme song hits. Roman Reigns makes his returns for the first time since WrestleMania. And I say you have Roman return at SummerSlam because it was SummerSlam when Roman Reigns returned in 2020 as the head of the table when he officially turned heel. Now he returns, still the tribal chief, still the head of the table, but now he's a face. Because I think we can all agree that after this run as the tribal chief, as the undisputed champion, there's really no point of Roman being a heel anymore. Maybe still have heel tendencies. Maybe he'll be a tweener best, but have Roman return here. Roman returns, confronts Solo. They have a bit of a face-off after he just beat Jimmy. And I say Solo just walks out. They have a face-off and Solo just leaves. Solo takes Tama, takes Tonga, takes Paul, and they just leave. Roman and Jimmy look at each other, and Jimmy just leaves the ring as well. So Roman's by himself. The following SmackDown after SummerSlam, Roman confronts Jimmy, telling him that he's changed, that he's seen the error in his old ways, that he let all the power and the success get to his head, that he mistreated his family, and he wants to basically get the band back together because Solo has now lost his mind. Solo has now lost his loyalty. Okay, can you edit that part out because my mom just walked in?
Oh no, you good, you good, you good.
Here, let me do that part again, the SmackDown part. Following SmackDown after SummerSlam, Roman confronts Jimmy. They have a segment together. Roman tells him he's sorry, that he sees the error of his old ways, that he let all the power go to his head, and that he wants to get the band back together because now Solo has lost his mind. Solo has drifted away from the actual bloodline with Tama Tonga, and Tonga Loa. Jimmy doesn't believe him. He says, I'm not falling for that again. You've said this multiple times. You've tried to manipulate your way out of the situation. You're on your own, Oos. Jimmy doesn't believe him. The new bloodline comes out and attacks Roman. Roman is able to fend off Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa until he's caught with the spike by Solo. And Paul Heyman is just sitting outside the ring like this, watching as he holds back tears. So now at Bash in Berlin, we have Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa. So at Bash in Berlin, Roman and Solo have a hard-fought competitive match. It looks like towards the end, Roman's going to pull it off. He's pulling out his big moves. But then towards the end, Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa interfere, costing Roman the match. Just like what Roman used to do. Solo's now doing what Roman used to do, have people do the dirty work for him. Solo's doing what Roman used to do. Solo Sikoa has beaten Roman Reigns. Paul Heyman wants to confront Roman after the loss, but Solo just kind of gives him a look when he started walking over, implying that if he goes and talks to Roman, he will regret his decision. So again, Paul continues to be held captive by Solo and the New Bloodline. So from this point on, because Bash in Berlin is going to be like August 31st, late August. From this point on, because we don't know if there's any other pay-per-views booked for September, October as of right now. So I just say for now, from this point on, from beginning of September to Crown Jewel, we have segments of Roman trying to get back together with the Usos. Roman goes to Raw here and there and pulls up and is trying to talk to Jay. Again, apologizing to him for everything he's done, just saying that like this is all my fault that this all happened. This is all my fault that we're not, unified. This is all my fault that Solo has become what he's become because I paved that way. And because they didn't do this when they feuded last year at SummerSlam, this is when we have, or at least I think they should have, Jay absolutely unloads on Roman. I mean, he brings up everything Roman has done all the way back to 2020. All the way back to 2020. I mean, like, just absolutely berate Roman. Say, like, you were nothing but a narcissistic manipulator, Oos. We were supposed to be family. You just like when we were kids, you beat me up. You abused me and Jimmy. I lost my little brother because of you. Like, I mean, like Jay just, I mean, and I say have Roman cry, have Roman shed tears. I mean, he did it. He did it in the Hell in a Cell match against Jay. He did it when he faked giving up the tribal chief status to Jay. I mean, Roman's acting has got a lot better. I think he could pull it off. I mean, like just have Roman really have some emotion pour out of him that like one of his family members just will not take him back. So week by week, as we're building up to Crown Jewel, the Usos' hearts do continue to soften. Like I kind of wanted to be the same process of how like when Sammy and Kevin Owens were gonna reunite when they were gonna take on the Usos, had to be like that. 2 weeks before Crown Jewel, Roman gets jumped by the Bloodline, and before he gets jumped by the Bloodline, there's a segment with Roman and Paul Heyman, and they're trying. I mean, not that there's any beef between them, but like Roman is trying to say like, "Wise man, like, what are you doing? Like, you can walk away from this. Like, I miss you. You're my wise man. I'm your tribal chief. Come back home." And Paul's scared. Like Paul wants to, but he's scared. He's scared of what Solo and Tongaloa will do. And then the new bloodline comes out. They jump Roman. Roman can only fight them off so much. I would even have them come out and like kind of have a callback to the Shield, like have them surround the ring with Roman. They're beating up Roman and they put the chair around Roman's head in the corners. He's seated. Solo's going to do the running hip attack. And before he does that, the old Usos theme song hits. You hear, Uso! Usos run, they storm the ring. Brawl is underway. Brawl's underway. The numbers are even. Roman gets back up. Superman punch, spear, super kicks galore. New bloodline leaves the ring. The old OG bloodline is standing tall. Paul leaves Solo, gets in the ring himself, and they all have a group hug. They save the wise man, the old gang's back together, thrown up the ones, and that night of SmackDown. Match is officially set. At Crown Jewel, we have a six-man tag team match, the second Bloodline Civil War. Solo, Tama Tonga Loa versus Roman and the Usos. The wise man is in Roman and the Usos' corner. Match is competitive, goes back and forth. We have some really cool moments, kind of like we did in the first Bloodline Civil War with some, certain move sets and such. Make it a kick out fest. But the referee gets knocked down, just like what used to happen when Roman was the tribal chief. This is helping Solo. Solo goes for the spike. I would have Solo have a hold of Roman. Solo goes for the spike, but Roman ducks, runs off the ropes, spears Solo, but there's still no referee. So after the spear, Roman doesn't know what to do. The Rock's theme song hits. Rock comes out to the ring. Roman and Rock have a face off. Roman just genuinely does not know what to do. Rock bottom. Rock bottom to Roman. People's elbow. Rock drags Solo's body over Roman. 1, 2, 3, and the rest back in it. Once again, Roman takes an L. And then I mean, that's probably not going to be the main event of Crown Jewel, but I would have like you have Rock and with Solo, Tamatonga, Tongaloa. Rock has been the one pulling the strings the whole time, trying to in his mind gain control of the bloodline again. They walk off holding the wands as Roman and the Usos and Paul sit in defeat. So following SmackDown, um, we are now building towards Survivor Series because Crown Jewel is November 2nd, Survivor Series is Thanksgiving week. Rock comes out with the new bloodline, Solo, Tamatonga, Tongaloa, and Rock is the only one that talks. Rock, first off, I think Rock should tell Solo, thank you for holding the fort down while I've been gone. You did good. Like there's a reason you're gonna be the next tribal chief. He's like, but the final boss is back. And he just cuts a promo talking about Roman, just said, Roman Reigns, I did everything I could to give you all the advantages in the world against Cody Rhodes, and you still couldn't get the job done. And now the real head of the table is back. He said, and like I think just have Rock just boost his ego, talk about what he did before Roman got into wrestling, what Rock did in Hollywood, how he has brought glory and fame to the bloodline, how like he could bring a Peter Maivia, like maybe even say how his grandfather was an actual wrestler. He's the OG, the patriarch of the bloodline, not Roman's grandfather. And then just say at Survivor Series that they'll face each other and they're going to whip their candy, you know what's out of the bloodline. Roman and the Usos come out, and I would specifically have Jay say this line. Like they can have a bit of back and forth on the mic between Roman and the Usos and The Rock. But then Jay goes, hey Us, as the saying goes, we're as deep as we are dangerous. Jacob Fatu makes his debut. Now the numbers are now even. Brawl is underway. And I would just end SmackDown when the television broadcast ends with just the brawl. Just like as the brawl is like just going on, just end the telecast there. Don't have anybody stand tall. I mean, obviously whoever's going to be there live can see it, but not on TV. Just have the brawl stand tall. So now we're building towards the third Bloodline Civil War, and it's going to be War Games at Survivor Series. Rock and the new Bloodline versus Roman, Usos, and Jacob Fatu. And apart from the fact that I think this match should be absolutely cinematic, it should be a brawl. I think you can bring some weapons into this match, like kendo six chairs and tables, especially for Tamatonga because he's a psychopath. Like he's absolutely nuts. It's like he would go hard with the weapons. I think in this match you show with Roman Reigns that he's truly changed, meaning he keeps saving Jimmy and Jay. Just like what Sammy did a couple years ago in the Bloodlines in the War Games match, how he kept saving Jay and he helped Roman when the pinfall happened. He stopped the referee. Do that with Roman. In his own way, Roman has taken the bullets for Jimmy and Jay. But ultimately, after Rock and Roman like kind of have their face off, and then they just go back and forth, and do their big moves, Rock does a low blow, showing that he'll do anything it takes to win. He'll do anything to take control, just like he did in WrestleMania, the tag team match. He told the ref, "It's no disqualification now. You make the count. You're fired. I will fire you."
Mm-hmm.
Rock just does whatever he has to do to win. So this is kind of throwback to heel Rock in the Attitude Era. And I think, and I thought of this last minute, just how Roman and Solo do the spike spear combo. Have Rock and Solo do a rock bottom spike combo. So when Rock goes up with the rock bottom, have Solo hit the spike on Roman while he's like up at the peak in midair. Hits the rock bottom. Rock pins Roman for the win for War Games. Once again, Roman takes an L. So now that the third Bloodline Civil War has happened, I would just say first SmackDown after War Games, Rock comes out, maybe by himself or maybe with the Bloodline. I would actually would just say by himself. The Rock declares himself for the Royal Rumble match. And then for the month of December, because there's probably not going to be a PLE anyway, have Roman and Rock especially just take time off. Just take the month off, rest up, heal up, get ready for the Royal Rumble. Come the Royal Rumble, the Rock comes out, probably going to be later in the match, and have him get a few eliminations, have him look strong, and then Roman Reigns' theme song hits, and it's like, oh, like Roman's return for the first time since Survivor Series. Roman comes out in the Rumble match, him and Rock have another face off. They go back and forth and have Roman eliminate the Rock. This is now the first time he's had a remote win since he's come back. He's kind of gotten payback on Rock in that sense because The Rock wants to face Cody Rhodes. He wants to get payback on Cody. He wants to pick up where they left off. And specifically, I would have Roman Superman punch The Rock out of the match. Like Rock is on the barricade and not barricade. I can't remember. I can't think of the name of the ring right now, but like you know what I'm talking about. He's outside of the ropes. Roman Superman punches The Rock out. Roman doesn't win the Rumble though. Those two are in the final five, final four, but Roman gets eliminated eventually anyway. But this now builds up. This is now official. Rock is pissed. He cost him the spot to go to WrestleMania to face Cody Rhodes, and now this solidifies Roman Reigns versus The Rock main event of night one of WrestleMania, and make this the main event just because. Don't get me wrong, I see merit in like the world title matches or even women titles now, always main eventing WrestleMania. But this is Roman Reigns versus The Rock. I mean, I would go as far as to say this is the modern day Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant in terms of star power. So I would have the mid card titles and tag titles on night one of WrestleMania, and then just save all the two world titles and women's titles, or maybe just like 3 out of 4 of them for the second night. So Rock and Roman main eventing night one is justified. And the match is just cinema, man. It's cinema. I mean, they cut great promos, they talk about family, they talk about what they've done, they both trade blows on the mic, and give them time to cook in the match in the main event, have Roman finally win. Have Roman beat The Rock, clean as a whistle in the ring, no interference, just those two. So that is how I would book Roman Reigns' return all the way up to WrestleMania.
Bet. So we all saw that Jay announced for Money in the Bank on Raw, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Jay, he's about to win Money in the Bank. Solo attacks Jay. He's about to win the briefcase. That sets up Solo and Jay feud. Okay. The following weeks, we get the build up to that match at SummerSlam. Numerous attacks from Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa during the weeks too. The SmackDown before SummerSlam, Jay and Solo meet like face to face. There's an attack on Jay, and then we hear Jimmy's music. Jimmy returns after long awaited to defend his brother. So now we know that Jimmy was waiting to come back and be on his brother's side. Jimmy and Jay try to take out Solo, Tama, and Tonga, but like it's still 3 against 2. They need somebody else. They're still getting beat up. The lights go out. Lights come back on. We see Jacob Fatu in the middle of the ring, and then he wreaks havoc. They take out Solo, Tama, and Tonga, and they stand tall. Jimmy and Jay and Jacob stand tall before SummerSlam. SummerSlam comes. Jay versus Solo. It's no holds barred. Solo said he wants to be able to do anything, almost like Bloodline rules type of deal. Paul is still in their corner, although you can tell he willingly wants to go back to Jimmy and Jay's side, but Solo's kind of keeping him captive, as we like can tell now. Tonga, Loa, and Tama Tonga wreak havoc during the match. Okay, Jacob and Jimmy come out to defend Jay, but they can't do it because the numbers are still kind of bad because Jay is obviously fatigued from the match. Okay, so Solo, Tonga Loa, Tama Tonga take out Jacob and Jimmy. Then we hear The Rock's music hits. The Rock comes out. He's like, "We're gonna end this now. You're all taking too long. We're gonna end this match right now." The Rock tries to secure the win for Solo. Then we hear Roman's music hits. Roman spears Rock. Okay. He takes out Solo. Then he gets Jay the win. So now Roman is the babyface that we've always waited for him to come back and be. So now it's Jimmy, Jay, Jacob, and Roman. And then that is going to set up Roman versus Solo at Bash in Berlin. So they just have a Solo uh, comes to Roman. He's like, "That was my chance. You came back. You weren't supposed to do that. Blah 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 blah. I'm the new leader of the Bloodline now. The Rock is the head of the table. You're not the head of the table anymore. You're washed. You're old. You shouldn't have came back in the first place." Okay. So now we get the Roman versus Solo feud. That's set up at Bash in Berlin, okay? We're gonna have Solo beat Roman, but obviously because of the shenanigans, blah 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 blah. And then we're gonna have number 2 at Crown Jewel. That's in November for Survivor Series. But that match just completely turns into a complete brawl, okay? Both sides come out, it ends in DQ disqualification, no contest. Then that's gonna set up the feud for Survivor Series. And that's when we're gonna get the War Games, okay? Now I'm still kind of skeptical or not if I want to put The Rock in War Games, because I don't know if The Rock would even want to be in War Games. Because that is a crazy match for Rock to be in. I feel like there's a high probability he could get hurt. But then it doesn't have to be like a crazy War Games match. He doesn't have to necessarily be a big, big factor in it. Like he could be the last person to come out. Okay. Him and Roman could be the last people, and they could have like their own mini feud during the match while it's going on. But whatever the match happens, I do want Rock and the new bloodline to come out on top. Then it's like, what do we do now? Roman's like, what do I do now? Like we've tried everything. We even have Jacob now. We can't get it done. Blah blah blah. Okay, so the weeks leading up to Royal Rumble, there's no pay-per-view in December. We're not really gonna have Roman on TV, but The Rock will make a couple appearances just with Solo and the new bloodline. And The Rock is gonna say, I'm the head of the table. Roman should not have came back. Don't know what he's doing. Blah blah blah. He's going against the family, blah blah blah. Him, Jimmy, and Jacob, they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing, blah blah. And for that reason, I'm gonna announce my entry into the Royal Rumble because I still have unfinished business with Cody Rhodes. And then we're gonna bring Cody into the story. And then Roman's like, I'm not done with you either, Lil Rock. He comes back next couple of weeks. I'm not done with you either. Even though you still have business with Cody, I still have business with you, so I'm gonna enter the Royal Rumble too. Okay. And like you said, those two are gonna be in the Rumble match. I'm gonna have Rock win the Rumble. Rock's gonna win the Rumble. He's gonna win the Rumble. Okay. He's gonna face Cody on night 2. But we're gonna get Rock v Roman night 1. So that feud is gonna lead up to Royal Rumble. We're gonna get Rock v Roman, blah blah blah. Roman saying, I don't care about the belt anymore. I just care about beating you. Okay. I'm the head of the table. I'm the best. I'm the best in the family. I'm still gonna call the shots at the end of the day. Blah blah blah. We're gonna get Rock v Roman night 1. Rock is going. I'm gonna have Rock lose. Okay. Rock's gonna lose night 1. He's also gonna lose night 2. And that's gonna be like Rock is done in WWE. Roman defeated him. He couldn't win. Cody defeated him. He couldn't win. Rock is done. Roman is still considered the head of the table. He goes on his babyface run. Cody's still undisputed champion. He goes to continue whatever he's doing, blah, blah, blah. Hopefully it's the feud with Randy Orton because we're waiting for that. We need that. But Roman is going to be considered the ultimate head of the table. And Solo and everybody is going to have to fall in line with Roman. Again, once again, him, Tamatonga, Tongaloa, they're all going to have to fall in line to Roman again because he beat The Rock night 1. So that's how I would do it.
It's a question. So
Yeah.
Rock taking back-to-back L's, would you just consider those two matches like his swan song, like his retirement
Oh,
matches?
yeah, yeah. That match with Cody is the last one for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how Rock is gonna lose. That's how Rock is gonna depart from wrestling. I don't see
Gotcha.
him going on after that. Like this year would be a great because he came back, he's had a good run, but he even said like he doesn't know how much longer he's gonna do it. He plans he's gonna do it for a long time, but there's no way he's staying more longer for like 2 years, bro. Like he's already making too much money. So he's gonna have that match with Roman. Like that's the match he's always wanted to have with his cousin. That's gonna headline night 1. He's gonna go and have that match with Cody. The match with him and Roman will be more of a storytelling match. But the match with him and Cody, that's his last match. So I want that to be like a wrestling match. He's gonna pull out all the stops he can. It's gonna be a 5-star classic. And he's gonna go off into the sunset. Cody's still gonna be champ. Cody's gonna embrace him at the end of the match. We'll see Rock break character. He'll understand that's his last match. Leave his boots in the ring. He'll take off his elbow pads, leave it in the ring. That'll be the end of that long 4-year bloodline story.
As we always say, we shall see. Hopefully WWE books it better than we do.
Shall see. I trust Triple H. I trust Triple H.
100%.
I trust Triple H. I
But
really just
yeah,
wanna Oh, I was gonna say I really just want to see Jacob Fatu already. Like
Oh, for
I
sure.
wonder when we're actually gonna get him. Like if they're gonna put him on like a week brand show, or if they're gonna put him on pay-per-view show to make his appearance. I don't know, man.
Just this time will come. But yeah, man, we are counting the days till Roman Reigns returns and the storyline picks. Not that it's bad right now, but the storyline will obviously pick up when Roman
Let's be
returns.
honest, it's not the best right now.
It's not the best, but we've seen worse storylines in WWE in the past. So I'll take the
Nah, for
Bloodline
sure.
story on its worst day than like anything on its best day in the PG era. So
Roman's definitely returning on SummerSlam for sure.
he's got to. But yeah, guys, we were counting the days so Roman returns, and then, like I said in the beginning of this episode, the needle will move. What do you guys hope would happen? How would you book Roman returning? Be sure to comment it down below. Appreciate you guys' support. We'll see you guys next time. I'm CJ McClure. Thank God for wrestling.
Yeah, man, I'm Johnny King. We appreciate y'all support. Comment below how y'all would book Roman's return or any key points y'all would have that y'all would change between me or CJ. Yeah, man, we'll just let it ride out and see how it goes. Johnny King, thank God for wrestling. Peace.